U.S. Ambassador to Turkey John Bass has said that the U.S. administration is following the electoral campaigns before the June 7 general election in Turkey and is paying close attention to press freedom, which he says will have an impact on the capacity of the Turkish people to make informed decisions about candidates and political parties. Speaking to members of the Diplomacy Correspondents Association, DMD, on Monday, Bass said that many people are curious about who the U.S. is supporting in the upcoming elections in Turkey. "We are supporting the Turkish people. We are supporting everyone in this society who wants to ensure that this election is free, fair, and competitive, and that all of the voters in this election have the opportunity to go to the polls and make an informed choice based on their ability to have access to information about candidates, parties and issues that are of concern to them," Bass said. Stressing the importance of press freedom to help voters make informed decisions in the election, Bass said the U.S. has been focused on press freedom due to its concern that too many journalists in too many countries are unable to do their jobs and contribute to strengthening and sustaining democratic societies in the way they should be able to. Bass said that just as U.S. President Barack Obama stressed in his recent statement about press freedom, journalists give politicians a chance to know the truth about themselves and their countries and make them better and stronger, while also giving voice to the voiceless, exposing injustice and holding leaders to account. "We believe it's important to support journalists wherever they are working to be able to practice their profession," said Bass. Answering a question about concerns of growing authoritarianism in Turkey, Bass said that the U.S. Department of State's annual Human Rights Report will be released soon and the U.S. administration's views will be explained there. Speaking about the importance of media access to information, Bass said that it is a very important principle and it troubles the U.S. when governments anywhere are selective in terms of which publications and which points of view have access to official government events, to government spokespeople and to the perspective of the government. "I do think there is a challenge in a number of societies and democracies in terms of enabling citizens to make informed decisions about candidates and parties in an electoral environment. An informed decision requires access to a range of viewpoints and perspectives. If voters have to work very hard to get more than one viewpoint, I think we find that problematic. And to the extent that certain viewpoints in journalism or politics are excluded from legitimate debates and discussions about society, that's a matter of concern," Bass said. Discussions about a possible presidential system. Mentioning the debate in Turkey about a possible change to a presidential system, Bass stated that the nature of Turkey's democracy is a matter for Turkish citizens to decide, whether it is a presidential system or a parliamentary system. "That's not for the U.S. to decide and we respect the right and the ability of Turkish citizens to make informed choices," said Bass. "The quality of the conversation, the information that's available to citizens, whether that decision was taken in the context of the Constitution, passed by Parliament or through a referendum, irrespective of which way that might happen, I think it's important that the citizens in Turkey feel that this is change that has been done with them as opposed to one that has been done to them," he added. Stressing that the U.S. has partners and friends with very different types of democracy, Bass stated that the system itself is not essential but the underlying protection of fundamental freedoms, the extent to which that system provides checks and balances prevents any single individual or branch of government from exercising disproportionate influence and ability to rule without consent are the kind of things that the U.S. looks at. When asked about a press report accusing an individual working at the U.S. Consulate General in Adana of espionage, Bass said that no one at the U.S. Embassy in Ankara or at the consulate in Adana had the opportunity to provide the U.S. perspective before the story was released and that neither the embassy nor the consulate was asked to comment. Bass also stated that the specific allegations of espionage are unfounded and that gathering information about the changing security and political environment in a country is the normal business of a U.S. embassy, whether in Turkey or elsewhere in the world. Later on Monday, the U.S. Embassy in Ankara issued a statement saying that the allegations of espionage by a member of staff at the Adana consulate are false and that personnel at all diplomatic missions maintain contacts with a variety of people both inside and outside of government and these relationships are not secret but a part of the routine work conducted by all governments. Unfounded stories like this endanger not only the individuals named but the journalistic integrity of the outlets which publish them, said the statement. Bass was also asked about the battle of words with Ankara Mayor Melih Gökçek with regard to Gökçek's tweet last week about the police treatment of rioters in Baltimore, when he addressed U.S. Department of State spokesperson Marie Harf by saying, "Come on Blondie, answer now." Ambassador Bass posted a photo of himself with photoshopped blonde hair on Instagram with the caption, "We are all blonde. I let my photo stand for itself and speak for itself. The mayor made his point and I made mine," said Bass, adding that there are a lot of other subjects that probably more interesting and useful to talk about. Praising the cooperation between Turkey and the US in the region, Bass said the two countries continue to work closely to take steps together as partners and allies, adding that an important recent part of that is the train and equip agreement for the moderate Syrian opposition. Underlining the importance of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad understanding that there is no military solution to this conflict, Bass said that there needs to be a negotiated settlement to this conflict and central to this negotiation is how President Assad leaves office. Bass also said that the threat of the Islamic State in Iraq and the Levant, ISIL, terrorist group is a very complicated and challenging problem. We have to work together as a strong coalition and Turkey is an important and vigorous partner in this, said Bass. Stressing the importance of the Incirlik Air Base, Bass said it has been an important facility within bilateral relations and within the NATO alliance. For many reasons, Incirlik is central to all of our efforts in the region, added Bass. When asked about the Turkish government's extradition request for US-based Islamic scholar Fethullah Gulen, the inspiration behind the Hizmet movement, a faith-based initiative strongly critical of the administration of Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Bass said that he cannot comment on extradition or deportation cases. Bass also addressed the Kurdish settlement process in Turkey, saying that the US strongly supports it. "We already have too many conflicts and too much violence in the region," said Bass. He added that the US believes it is important for all parties to remain committed to the process.